if you're elected, what will you recommend be done, if anything, to the penny sales tax increase?
Right. Regarding the penny sales tax increase, it rolls off in 2015. Between now and then, we will assess where the city is financially, and once we can see the information firsthand, then we'll be able to make a judgment of whether we can rescind that tax before it rolls off. But when it rolls off, we will not do anything to put it back on.
All right, second question. According to the CDC, 2/3 of the adults in the Mobile area are overweight or obese. Only 17% of the low-income citizens live within a mile of a grocery store. It's far easier for them to buy liquor and cigarettes and junk food than it is fresh fruits and vegetables. Experts refer to this as a food desert. What can you do as the mayor to get grocery stores into low-income neighborhoods?
Right now, Mobile doesn't have a long-range plan, long-range strategic plan. It's been since 2003 that they had their last draft. The one prior to that was 1998. I think because we don't have a strategic plan, it doesn't identify the exact locations, where we need the grocery stores. I think intuitively, citizens know where they need to be. But if you had a long-range plan and you went to a grocery store or developer, you could say, this is the plan for this area, and we need you to be the anchor, and this is what we're going to do afterwards, or we will put you in here simultaneously with someone else. So with the strategic plan, I believe that we can talk these grocery store owners and developers into going into some of these areas. I know that in the downtown area, and it's not one of the blighted areas where there's really a food desert, but it too is a food desert. And we need a grocery store downtown. Okay.
Number 3. Many successful cities like Chattanooga, Tennessee, for example, have invested in green space and other quality of life projects. Considering the addition of Airbus to Mobile, how can you improve the quality of life in such a way that those people who work in Mobile also choose to live in Mobile?
Right. I think that's one of the primary issues facing Mobile right now, is that people are leaving the city because of the quality of life. They perceive the quality of life to be better in Baldwin County, Saraland, other places. You've got to focus on some of the infrastructure needs. I mean, you need to have walkable and safe sidewalks. You need the bike trails. You need to make sure that the arts are not just an afterthought, that it's an investment by the city to promote those things. I believe that the people that are coming in with Airbus, they're going to have higher expectations than maybe some of our citizens do today. And they expect these things, and they get them in other places. And so I'm hoping that as a community we'll come together and realize that we've got to put more emphasis on that.
Okay. Number 4. Census figures show that more people in Mobile actually walk to work than take public transit. What pressure can you exert as mayor to make public transportation more accessible to those who need it?
Part of the problem, as I understand it, with public transportation, is the routes currently and how many buses someone has to take in order to get to a destination. And I think that has to be reassessed, to determine what are the most optimum routes. And when you do that, I think that, and it becomes easier to use the public transportation, then it will be used more than it's presently being used.
Okay. Number 5. What can you do as mayor to get and keep a cruise ship in Mobile?
Well, I'm of the opinion that the city did something wrong in order to lose the cruise ship. I'm not exactly sure what that is. I've heard multiple stories. I believe that as a new mayor, that the cruise lines would be looking at new leadership. They would be looking at a businessman who understands the challenges that they have as a business, and I believe that we can put a plan together that would encourage them to come back. But first off, the thing I would do, I would reassemble the committee that was working when we originally got the cruise lines to come here, which has been disbanded by the mayor. And it needs to come back together because it was their relationships and their contacts which had a lot to do with us having the first cruise line. So I would reassemble that committee first and follow their lead.
Okay, number 6. About 1/3 of the young people in Mobile live below the poverty line. Considering that poor males are twice as likely to get arrested and the poor females are 5 times more likely to have children out of wedlock, how can you as the mayor address the societal and the economic problems caused by poverty in the city?
Would you mind repeating that? Is that okay?
No, that's fine. About 1/3 of the young people in Mobile live below the poverty line. considering that poor males are twice as likely to get arrested as others, and poor females are 5 times more likely to get pregnant out of wedlock, how can you as the mayor address the societal and economic problems posed by poverty in our city?
Yeah. Well, in order to address that, obviously, it's not just in this city. It's a national problem and a state problem. But the things that we can do is make sure that we do everything that we can to improve the education system, that we improve their access to health services, to also improve our recreational department. A lot of the children, when they find idle time, then they're going to do something that's probably not, it's neither safe nor is it healthy. And so if we improve our parks, recreation, our bike trails, our walking paths, but also engage them in sports and activities and in the arts, the theater, the band, and those kinds of things, then they're less apt to have time to do things that get them in trouble. And I think that also that you've got to have the mentoring. I believe that the Mobile Area Education Foundation, the public school system, they unrolled some stuff. They rolled out some stuff today that I think is going to be very, very, very beneficial to our community about improving the education. And I think with improved education and with leadership and access to other programs, that there's a better chance that they won't pursue the pathways that so many of them take today.
Okay. Number 7. Only about 1 in 4 Mobilians has a college degree. How can you attract high-tech companies if the city can't attract or retain college graduates?
Right. I say that the Mobile's most valuable export item is our young people, it's our high school graduates, and our college graduates. Young people today, if they can't find a job opportunity at home and they perceive the quality of life better, that's where they're going to go get a job. So many of the college graduates that are either Mobilians by birth or they are Mobiles in an adopted home, they leave and don't come back because of the quality of life and the job opportunities. That's why our focus is on, first off, we believe that if you don't have a safe city, you don't even have a city. You don't have the foundation for a city. So our efforts are to improve the crime situation in Mobile, and it's also to address the quality of life issues. But while you're doing those two things, you have got to make it easier for the small businesses to grow. It's because a lot of these small businesses are where those college graduates come back to. And you've got to create an entrepreneurial spirit in a city so that they want to come here, where their friends are here. And when they do that, it starts growing. Because they today, that age group, they decide where they want to live, and then they get a job there. And if it's not easy to grow a small business or to start a small business, they're going to go somewhere where it's easy to do that. And that's one of the biggest problems that Mobile has. That is a big contributing factor of why our city is not growing, other than the crime situation.
Okay, and finally, what is Mobile doing well, and how can you improve it?
Well, I think Mobile is doing well in economic development. The Chamber of Commerce is probably one of the premier Chamber of Commerces in the United States, probably in the top 5. We've created more jobs in Mobile than any other area in the state. About 18,000 jobs in the last 10 years. But people are not living in the city. They're living outside the city. The city's shrinking in size, so what does that tell you? That something's wrong inside the boundaries. So you've got to address the crime issues, the quality of life, making it easier to do business as a small business, and education. And when you do that, then you'll create an atmosphere that'll change that.
All right, very good. Thank you.
Yeah.